Okay, so I did not love the way this was kind of a lighter brown. So I got this ancient can of Java. The lid is rusty. Let's see if there's any life left in it. Oh, still pudding. General Finish is going to hate this video. Or love it. I'm not sure. One or the other. I had a big can, but I opened it up and it was like a Java colored hockey puck inside. So I need to go invest in Java. So it's just a super duper dark brown. So there is a brown or a slightly red tint to it. It's not black, but it is very dark. And so I don't want it to look like oak with what's happening right now. So I am going to go down Java Road and see what happens. As long as this stuff is still freshly applied. Because even if they were, almost black, that would be fine because it helps showcase the warm tones and the black walnut veneer. There we go. Yeah, now we're talking. So that's the thing about the ash is you're going to get those almost like zebra different and the grains absorb, taking the color, taking the stain very differently. So it's a little bit better, not a ton. Ash is still proving difficult. I'll put some more on here, smooth it out, let it sit for a while. Yeah, I guess if I could just smooth that out, I would just kind of let that happen. They do say to set general finish. I believe the instructions are. Let's see, all the guys on YouTube I've seen. They say put the gel stain on there and let it sit for a while, kind of hang out before you knock it back. I've had it get pretty sticky on me, especially if it's a warm summer day. But I think I'm just gonna wipe both these guys back and hope that the majority of the stain just kind of settles down. There we go. Just gonna wipe the excess with the grain. I'll let it go ahead and set up. I mean, it's a part of the dresser you're gonna really see, but also not see at the same time. I mean, you're gonna have the two little tapered legs in the front. That's what tells everybody it's mid-century modern, classic mid-century modern. And then nobody's gonna be under there with a microscope examining the finish on the legs. I mean, people will see when they flip it into their vehicle, but it's like looking at the inside of a car. Unless you're a real gearhead, people don't. They're trying to get from point A to point B in style. In this case, a little extra style. So, they just in a convertible they want to know that the top goes down, and they don't really care what the air filter looks like so much. So. So I'm trying to use I'm using the wet part of the paper here, and I'm trying to get kind of a little bit like an even coat. Now I want to say heavier necessarily. I want just enough to do the masking of the grain as much as possible, or darkening the wood. And the best tool will go in the front, and the worst tool will go in the back. And so the dry part of the towel just takes too much finish off. So I think that looks pretty good. And then you can, it's your last chance to look at the before and after. So Java, do your stuff. Get all the way around on the short end. Try not to glob it too much. Same thing, if I have any low spots, I got to make sure I really punch in the stain. Kind of force feed the wood. And I gotta say, once the gel stain has kind of been on there, especially on where I'm at right now, it's pretty warm. It's about 80 degrees air temperature, summertime for now. And so it is kind of getting thick and tacking up, which is good because it makes it actually easier to take the wet part of the towel and just level it. All right, so I think that's going to be a lot better. All right, I need to hit my can with a hammer. So I think that's looking good. That's going to be a thumbs up from me. Okay, so this is going to be kind of quick and a little dirty. All right, normally you wouldn't want to shake up your finish, but this is a mature can of shellac, and this is going to be a speedy effort. So I'm actually just going to grab a paper towel. It's not even a great paper towel. And I'm going to pick up some of this shellac. And then I just want to seal and put a little protection onto the gel stain finish. And then I'm going to get some more. Same thing. It really helps to have this stick. What I did was I drilled some holes that are the same size as the hanger bolts. And I do this with I spray paint hardware. Which sometimes it just needs to be done. So I'm using shellac because it dries really quickly, and what I want to do is take this to my space today because I have to go pick up another dresser. It's actually very similar to this one, but actually has the legs. I'm hoping I got all the way around on that one. That booger off there. Well, that looks close enough. That one just lifted right out, so that's a good thing. So legs don't normally get beat up unless a dog decides that they like how the legs taste. And so I'm just going to give it a coat or two of shellac. Shellac dries very quickly, and hopefully I'll be able to handle them and twist them into place on the dresser, probably with a little bit of force, because you'll notice these are a little bit bent in the videos when I put the hanger bolt in there, but the hanger bolts, I think, are soft enough steel to where they'll just bend in position and level out. So that's the first coat right there. I'll do another one. I probably don't need to videotape that, but you get the idea. Get this chunk of dust off here, either off or blend it in. There we go. So that's looking good. I'm just going to let that hang out here in the sun and dry. Okay, so here goes nothing. As you can see, I've installed 2 legs, tighten them up to where the point they might actually straighten out. Curl that one back. All right, so the bolts are a little long, but they're just going into some poplar here that is no match for threaded rod being driven into its face. So I'm just going to muscle them into position and hope for the best. That's a bit of a problem. The staples are coming up. We have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. I might just have to trim the bolts down about to 3/4 of an inch. Okay. We're going to do a do-over here on the leg bolts. I'm going to have to take these back and then trim them with put a bolt on here, put a hacksaw on here, trim it back or grinder, and then unscrew the nut so the threads don't get wrecked. All right, so back to the drawing board. Okay, so the stud or the threaded part of my hanger bolt was sticking out too far. So what I did was I set up my trusty rip-off red Paulini woodpecker knockoff, and so I'm marking about 3/4 of an inch, just a hair under, and then I'm putting a piece of tape on here like a flag, and then I'm using a hacksaw. And what I did was I have this angled piece of wood here. This is a leftover from where I had I think it was a punching bag in the basement. A roommate wanted set up a punching bag. I don't know if it ever got punched, but so I'm using this kind of grippy stuff, and then I rest the stud on here. This is actually supposed to be a zero clearance fence for my miter saw, but I haven't set it up for that yet. But it rests on here. It gives me a little bit more leverage. The stud or the bolt goes up against that, and so it gives me a little bit of support, a little bit more leverage for driving the hacksaw. So 3 more to go. I got to get on it.